That's fun. So I was wondering if we were going to have like something to talk about, being that we just recorded. I feel like we need those couple extra days or a couple days in the stores. But
I had good stories though this week. We both
have great stories.
Yeah.
Such great stories.
Yeah.
And then I thought to myself, everywhere we go, people are dealing with people.
Yeah.
Whether you consider them customers, clients, patients, whatever. And so in a way, we're all retail.
Yes.
If you think about it.
Customer
like doctors may not agree because
Yeah.
they have patients, but you're really, the definition of retail is working with people.
Right.
And I actually wanted to look up what like Wikipedia says, but
Yeah.
I want to make it up my own,
Yeah.
my own definition of
I think
retail.
you can just change Wikipedia.
You probably could.
You know what I mean? You can be like, no, this is what it
We
means.
should probably add Clopin
Yeah.
to Wikipedia
Yeah.
because now we're basically famous.
Basically.
So, but yeah, so I was thinking like anything that you do, unless you do not work with outside people. So I guess if you're IT for your company, you don't have to work with
but even still,
customers.
You got to deal with the employees. Like, this won't
True.
work. Did you turn it off and turn it back on again?
Yeah, right.
And then that's like
or for like your one machine with the woman that was just listening to you having conversations. She's like, did you reboot it? And end this conversation.
Oh, trying now.
I have to give a huge shout out to my friend Erica on Facebook.
Ooh.
Because she put a beautiful post about us on her page.
She's like, it's definitely for adults.
And she has like over 1,300 friends.
Really?
So
good.
And it's funny because someone commented.
Give us a follow.
I know. And someone commented, I wish there was one for restaurant. And I didn't want to take over her post and say, this is like, just come listen or come on.
We definitely have restaurant stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I was just at the pharmacy at a Walgreens over here, and a young, I'm going to call him a kid. To me, he's a kid to me. But a young gentleman helped me get Julia's prescription. And he goes, so, what are you doing fun today? I mean, I guess I just look like someone was like, I'm actually recording for my podcast. He goes, I've always wanted to start a podcast. He goes, what's your podcast about? And I said, it's retail. He goes, no way. And I'm
Did you give him a card?
I did not.
What the
I know,
hell?
I'm not like you. I went back into my car. I'm like, I'm missing this opportunity. Go bring it back to Ben at the pharmacy. I remembered his name. And he said, I've always wanted to do a podcast. I said, we're on week 60 already talking about retail. He goes, you know what? You say the word reset and all of a sudden you got an hour that you can talk about.
Right.
I mean, he got it.
Right.
So I need to go back next time I pick up her medicine or next time she goes, I'm going to say, hey, give him this card.
Yeah.
And even if you just had questions about starting a podcast, we can help.
Right.
Or if he wants to come on. Or just listen.
I talked to Mr. Banker today.
Oh, yeah. When is he coming on? I know, whatever. Okay.
So he texts me and he's like, hey, how's the podcast going? I saw you're on YouTube now, And I was like, yay. I'm like, it's going great, this and that. And I'm like, and you really need to come on. He's like, I'm not that funny. I'm like, you are hilarious. When I used to work with him, he would crack me up so much. Yeah. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. He has a very dry sense of humor, but when he tells a story, like dealing with a customer, it's so funny.
Yeah. And
so funny.
You always make people laugh, and like you always have your one-liners.
I'm just funny looking.
You're the reason why everyone listens. I'm just here. I'm just here with the topics.
I just show up.
You do. You say that every week. I just show up.
That's all I do. Meredith has to do all the hard stuff.
I just sent a message to our friend in pharmacy. She's going to join us soon. She has younger children, and they keep taking turns having COVID. You just choked? What did you choke on? You only have Twisted Tea.
It went down the wrong pipe.
What else you doing over there? I don't see any snacks. You got snacks?
No snacks. Snack.
You got some snacks over there?
Okay, sorry. I interrupted. Almost lost my life.
And I'm just talking.
Blah, blah, blah. Cass is over there dying.
Feel bad for me. Stop coughing.
Okay.
Oh, gosh. So, I sent her a message because okay, so I'm an airhead. We know this. But I also am systematic. Like, I do the same thing every day.
Yeah.
Maybe because I am an airhead, so I have to get up and I have to do the same thing every day. So going to the pharmacy, to me, should be the same every time I go.
Right.
So I'm the only one left with a prescription there because the kids got sick of it.
Yeah.
They went to other pharmacies. And, I mean, they're okay. I feel like they're a little bit better, but I just feel like I'm committed to this pharmacy. I want them to do great for me. And I'm just systematic.
Yeah.
I cannot change. I'm not great at change. So I can't wait for her to come on because every single time I go, and I've said this before, something is different.
I know.
Something is wrong.
Messed up.
I've had the same medicine for 7 years. I just got a new one today, which was not a big deal. You go online, it's like since COVID, it's all touch-free. Like you can do everything through your cell phone.
Yeah.
You can add your credit card, you can sign, you can put your loyalty in, you can, all that kind of stuff. I set it all up yesterday. I get up there and she gives me the thing to sign and I'm like, I don't want to touch this thing. Like I kind of was like, I said, I have to sign? I thought I did on my phone. She goes, this is how you get your prescriptions. I'm like,
but I did it already.
She's like, no, this is how you do it. I'm like, I have not signed in 2 years.
That's so weird.
Okay, so this is
it
just
because
showing.
It's a new one?
No, I did it all online. Then she said, oh, the credit card declined. And I said, which credit card do you have? Because I just switched it over yesterday because the last one got stolen. And she's like, oh, well, I have. And she said the 4 digits. And I said, that's not the one. I just updated yesterday. She goes, no, you can't update it online. You have to call us. And I just sat there and smiled at her. I'm like, no, I don't. I don't have to call you. I don't have to call you with my credit card number. I can put it in the system.
So that's what I hate.
And I didn't argue, but I could tell she was like kind of irritated with maybe a little bit of my pushback. But I was asking questions like.
That's the thing is you think you did it right.
Right.
She's telling you didn't. But then does she know the rules?
So I don't know.
Why are you having to explain the rules to her when you're like, I did this. This is what it told me to do. I did this. Everything should be there. That's frustrating. And I could tell she
was trying to rush me and she was irritated. So first of all, my first thought is I never feel bad for myself. I feel bad for others that may not understand or like, I'm going to say this in a polite way, older people that might get a little frazzled because they thought they did it. Like I know like maybe someone like my mom or my aunt, they would just be like, wait, what do you mean? I did it already. Am I going, and then they would start panicking a little bit because they know they set it up correctly.
Where did I put my credit card
Where did I put my credit? Yes. Yeah. Did you put it on your Facebook? Like, you know what I mean?
Posted it.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen those, where you, so then you start to panic. So that's usually who I first think of is like, how do other people handle this? Or so. I just can't wait for her to come on. I know I keep saying that, but I just have so many questions. Why did that not work for me? And this is every month. I get medicine. I have 2. Every 30 days, I go and pick it up. And every 30 days, it is not the same.
Johnny goes to the same one you do, and it's an issue every single time.
Is it their system?
I don't know.
Now, I just went and picked up Julia's at the place that she chose because it was easier. It was no problem. Thanks, Ben. I'm going to bring you a card next time. It was so easy.
Johnny has issues every month, too. He gets the same 3 things every month. They're on auto refill.
Yeah, me too.
It texts him and it says, your prescription's ready. He goes, they go, well, we only have 1 of the 3.
That happens to me too.
Then why are you fucking texting me?
Yes.
And so then he'll wait a whole day. They put him back. One fucking day, they put him back.
No way. I thought it was like 14 days.
They hate him, I guess.
But see, that's the inconsistency.
I feel like when we do have Pharmacy Girl on,
boogers, hold on. I gotta fix my nose. I'm wiping out my shirt.
No one will notice. When we do have Pharmacy Girl on, it's going to be a 3-hour-long episode.
I know. I mean, I'm not, and I don't want her to come on for me to beat her up, of course. I want to understand it.
Hopefully she'll have some answers for you.
Yeah, and then maybe when I go, I can explain it better because I know nothing about that side.
Maybe she'll be like, yeah, our system fucking sucks. It's
Who
totally
knows?
flawed.
Who knows,
and I'm tired of getting yelled at by people.
And and it was just, it aggravates me because I could tell I wanted to ask a question, or I did ask the question, and she answered me very short. Just listen to what I'm saying. She goes, you have to call. I go, I don't have to call. Well, actually, I didn't say it that way. I said, I have to call. And she's like, you have to call us with your credit card number. You can't do it online. And I'm just
Who's giving their credit card number over the phone for somebody to write down?
Certainly not me anymore, especially since I just got over having mine stolen. Like, I'm doing everything, okay, whatever. I could go on forever. Okay. We'll wait until she's...
Now that rant's over, on to bigger but this was fucking hilarious. So I'm in the bakery. And I'm behind the counter, and people keep trying to ask me stuff. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't work here. I'm just, like, updating their computer, like, hold on, let me get somebody for you. Okay, so I didn't say this in the Snapchat, but the cake decorator there is very rude.
Oh.
She's, I'll say a middle-aged lady.
Okay.
And she is clearly unhappy with mass-producing cakes. Oh, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I think she would probably enjoy more working in a actual
I was just going to ask, is it the artist in her that is? Okay.
I think so. And, then you got to follow corporate rule. And we had Jenna and Abby on, they both worked, and they know you got to pump them out and fill up the case and do this and do that. And so I'm trying to tell her, like, hey, you guys got to do this every day. Otherwise it gets clogged and blah, blah, blah. She's like, I hate that fucking machine. I won't even use it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay. So another worker comes up and she was like, get that working before you leave, because she'll tell people even when it's working that it's not working, she doesn't want to use it. And I was like, oh, damn. So just to be clear on what it is, it's like an edible printer, right? So it prints edible images that you can just slap on top of the cake and do a little border around it.
Sure. That's like if it's like you want Mickey Mouse or that's when you see them on the cakes, like like a circle or,
Yes. So this lady doesn't like to use it because she's a little older.
Oh, sure.
And she doesn't know how to use it. She's like, and I'm trying to show her how to use it. I said, we're going to go ahead and print one because we'll do a generic happy birthday one that you can write on it and just make sure it's working properly. And I can walk you through the process of how to work it. And she's like, well, what's this? What's it? So it has boxes down below that it's each step. Right?
Oh, yeah, right.
So you pick the size of the cake, you pick, and it says pick the image, but okay, so you pick an image or you download one, whatever. There's a whole book of images, or you got generic ones you can pick. And then we're on the next step where it's like preview the image. And she's like, well, what is this? Pick the image. I'm like, we already did that. You know, like we're following the steps. She's like, but no, it's an option to pick. I go, well, you see, if you pick it, it just takes you back to the last step. Like she was so like not willing to learn, just being rude about it.
Oh, that's frustrating when you're trying to train somebody.
It is, and I'm very patient.
Yeah, you are.
Like I said, I either got patience for the people or the people, like not both, you know?
This is why we drink.
Yeah, heavily. So this woman walks up while we're on the computer, and she says, oh, do you have gluten-free cookies? And the cake decorator says, well, if you walk right down here to the end of our cooler, there's a cooler down there at the end. It has all of our gluten-free desserts in it. She said, we have cake, pie, brownies, and cupcakes. And the girl goes, oh, so you don't have gluten-free cookies? And she goes, if you walk right down to that cooler, all of our gluten-free desserts are in the cooler. And the girl's like, well, do you have like individually wrapped gluten-free cookies? And I swear to God, this bitch was spitting fire out her eyes. And she just turned around and walked away. And I was just like,
smiling at her.
Can I help you in any way? We could go look together if you would like. And the chick just walked away. I was like, okay. Then we had another girl come up. Can you write happy birthday on this cake? And she's fighting her immediately. Well, that's a tiramisu. It has cocoa on top. And if I try to write on it, it's just going to lift up and it's not going to look good. I mean, I can make it look good, but I'm just letting you know it's not going to look good. How does that even fucking make sense?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
So then the lady's saying, well, this has coffee in it, right? Is it going to get my kids all riled up? And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, if I was the cake decorator, I'd probably be a little annoyed with that too. Like, it's
that was
sugar.
Annoying. That was annoying. And I was like, the ladyfingers are just dipped in espresso. It's actually cake, and they like just, it's not even real tiramisu.
Yeah, right.
It's cake with ladyfingers.
It's probably
around the
still
outside.
got caffeine in it.
I'm sure,
espresso,
you know.
Yeah.
But I told her, like, yeah, they just dip them in there and then push them on the side. Like, you know, how sensitive are your kids to caffeine? So then she's wandering around. So then she finds another cake, just a little, you know, single layer, you know, 9-inch round, whatever. And she's like, and because when she first approached, she said, can I have this cake written on? I said, you know what? She just stepped away. She'll be right back. I think she's just making some copies. I don't actually work here. So then we had that interaction, and then she finds the cake that she does want written on.
Yeah. And
she's like, well, can I have this one written on? And I go, you sure can. You want to just ask her right down here? Like, you already know I don't fucking work here. I already explained that to you, you know? And this lady was so fucking annoyed that she had to write on the cake. And she kind of did a shitty job. She did happy birthday, and then the name, like, just ran into the birthday. Like, she just, and she's like, here you go.
Oh, no.
Like, I was like, God.
Maybe this customer has shopped there before and knows how that decorator is, so that's why she went to you again.
Probably.
I'm just assuming.
Well, it didn't. Yeah, she's just so rude. How, you know, if you're not, I know it's not easy to just get a job anywhere. I mean, maybe right now it is, whatever. They say everywhere's hiring, but like, if you're truly that unhappy with having to write happy birthday Meredith on a fucking cake, go get a different job.
Yeah.
Go work somewhere else, you know, like, go work somewhere where you don't have to deal with customers. You just make the cakes and you know, decorate them and put them out on a case in a real bakery. You know, I don't fucking know. I don't know. But
you got to make sure you write happy birthday Jonathan straight if you're going to go to a specialty place.
Ain't nobody going to hire your ass with that shit.
This podcast is brought to you by NameTag Productions, LLC. Entire podcast, unless otherwise stated, written by the hosts. Drums, written and performed by my son, Steven. The Clopen Effect, a retail podcast. If we have to be all in this together, we might as well make it fun.